I think what we've learned in the early days of any company, you need guys on the team who are jack of all trades, expert of none. But as the company grows, you start going away from those generalists and getting to those real specialists. I got a Facebook guy, I got an email guy, I got a Google guy. So I think a lot of traditional businesses, they get stuck in this concept that they don't accept change. So I try and teach our team, I'm like, hey, there's two absolutes in this world and that's it. Number one is death and number two is change. The affiliates don't sit around and cry about, oh man, it used to be like this. Like, all right, cool, what's the next one?
Hey guys, just want to say a quick thank you to our sponsors, not just Adam, but Rainbow, of course. If you haven't already, grab your copy of The Paper Call Revolution, which you can find on Amazon now.
All right, ladies and gents, I've got Roy Ferman here from Seek Capital. Thank you for joining me, my man.
My absolute pleasure, sir.
How'd you get started in the space?
Accidentally. So go back to 2005. I was in Australia, working for a company called Mobile Messenger. We did all the premium rate SMS. So think about like ringtones, horoscopes, all that stuff for the kids. They used to love before the iPhone days.
I was one of those kids.
Thank you. We appreciated your dollars.
Of course, man.
And so I moved over with the company from Australia to the US. We had a really explosive meteoric rise here in the US. Look, in Australia at the time, it was 21 million people. The US was around a little over 300 million people. So doing the same job for a population 15 times bigger.
Yeah.
So I kind of learned that lesson being a big pool, right? So we went from there, went to our first ad tech show in San Francisco, me and one of the other guys in the office, and we made 5 really good contacts in like the first few hours.
What year was this?
2006. Right? So, a guy I met on a call, he invited me, told me about it. I was like, all right, cool. So we had 5 really good conversations, and me and my colleague, we walked out of that show, we're done. We got 5 good contacts. We're going to be rich tomorrow. We're a little naive. We ended up doing business with one of those. Then we just started going to show after show. We realized, like, hey, instead of trying to advertise through our own medium, we discovered the concept of the affiliates. Like, we had no idea what it was. It was this whole world that we didn't know about. And so we started going to affiliate summit. We even went to a few adult shows, just to try to understand like the landscape of using the billing application, premium SMS.
Yeah.
And then very quickly, instead of trying to get people to start advertising our services, what we started doing was going to finding the big affiliates who were already pushing ringtone traffic. So at the time, I don't know if you remember Jamster, the Crazy Frog, right? So we just basically went out, found the affiliates who were doing that traffic, and we said to them, hey man, instead of getting paid a CPA, we'll set you up your own ringtone offer and you'll get a rev share. You'll get to own the user value. For some guys, they're like, nah, I like my CPA. All right, cool. For other guys, we're like, oh man, I'm making these guys rich. I'm the one driving the traffic. And so they said, okay, cool. So we did that, and we had a massive meteoric rise. We went from, in 2005, we did about $5 million top line revenue. Within 3 months of being in the US, we're at $5 million a month. Within a year, 9 months or so.
This is you're selling air more or less. Maybe some rights.
$10 a month transactions, $6 a week, all these different things. Within less than a year, we're at $20 million a month, right? It was just explosive, but it was really the power of the affiliates. Right, so we had a few good affiliates. We made their own offer for them. They continued driving traffic. We handled all the back end stuff. And then the partnerships evolved and they got smarter and they wanted to get involved in the content side and we got to learn from them. So I found the affiliate space to be the most incredibly innovative in terms of workflows because what the affiliate mindset is, it's like, all right, hey, what is the consumer demand? What is the customer looking for? What are people clicking on? What are people searching on? And let me go and figure out how to get them that. So if they want diet pills, the affiliate will go and find a diet pill offer. And there'll be an innovative, like an advertiser who'll bring that offer to market. But it really starts with the affiliate identifying where is the demand at the consumer side, right?
I've always been trying to create it.
Yeah, like a lot of traditional products or services, a company, I like building this product. I bake these cakes, I cook this food, whatever. And then they go and try and figure out how to sell it. The affiliate model is the exact reverse. Right, where they find what the demand is, and then they go and help the client, the consumer, meet that demand. Right, they source the product effectively. So I love that. So fast forward, ended up running an affiliate network. I left that Mobile Messenger after a few years. We had an exit. It was very nice. We all did very well. Started an affiliate network. Did a lot of the nutraceutical, bizarre. Still did a lot of the premium rate SMS, but now just pure traffic side instead of the billing side, and that went fantastically. But then we evolved, shut part of the business down, sold off part of the business, started a PPC agency because we had an in-house PPC and just that was cranking and loving that.
Yeah.
Which we started as a super affiliate and then we became an agency. And then started doing a lot of business for big brands out of Australia, out of Canada, here in the US. So Sears, if you remember that brand. So they were our client out of Canada. So we were managing all their PPC in both French and English. So it was one hell of a project.
What was it like working with like a big corporate? Like, you just spend the money pretty much, or
no,
they actually want to see KPIs, ROI?
Yeah, they had KPIs. These are different to what us in the affiliate industry had really been accustomed to. So their big KPI was year-on-year growth in terms of ROAS, so return on ad spend, right? How did we do last year versus how do we do this year? But now you're talking about thousands and thousands of product lines, right? From underwear, socks, T-shirts, sunglasses, cookware, right? So then you started looking and going, hey, when they do an email drop, the impact of that on PPC was incredible. Like the brand was, people sleep on those guys, but that brand was incredibly powerful. Like it really was.
The lists are so massive too.
It's huge, right?
Yeah.
It really was. Like if they would have just shut down all their brick and mortar and stayed with their online, they were printing money on the online side. They had us doing PPC. They had another group doing the banner ads, another group doing the email. The online really was kicking ass, and I got to learn a lot. Running a PPC team in both English and another team in French. That was interesting, having to recruit French PPC.
You speak French?
No. Bonjour. That's about it.
Nice.
We had to recruit PPC managers from France, and we had to bring them over to the US. So, when you look at Sears, like what they got from our agency was that innovative nature. Like they would never go to France and try and recruit somebody. So that's what they got from us was, hey, that young, nimble, hungry company who's going to get the job done, because their French side had been really neglected, and we really made it flourish, right? And in Canada, it was fantastic for them. So then started doing a lot of businesses in the small business lending space. So these guys are lenders to businesses. They're non-banks, but they're lenders. And they're looking for existing business owners, guys who've been in business for 2 years, got cash flow, tax returns. That's how they're underwriting against cash flow. But inevitably, we became the go-to agency in the industry. So we were managing 8 different companies in the industry, some of the biggest names. Lendio is one, Wall Funding, WBL, Lendini.
One of the big names you know now.
Yeah, exactly. So like Lendio back then, they were on the move, but they weren't what they are today. Today, they're one of the top guys. Yeah, they're the behemoth, right? So got to work with those guys. It was fantastic. None of these guys wanted brand new businesses. And the problem was all of these campaigns you put must be in business for 2 years, must be in business for 5 years in the ad copy. And then the guy, a consumer, would go to LegalZoom, register his business entity, and then he'd go to Google, go small business loans. And he'd see an ad that says must be in business for 2 years. He'd go, all right, click. And we're like, man, that was like $12. Come on. And so about 25 to 35% of the leads were startups. And we tried giving the solutions to our clients. Hey, can you sell them to personal loans, credit repair, credit cards? And the clients back then, their business was growing at just insane speeds. They were just trying to keep up. So the concept of monetizing like dead leads just was so foreign to them and so unnecessary. Today, it's very different.
The return was so good already.
Yeah, I mean, they were just trying to keep up with what they had, right? It was, the industry was, all boats rise when the sea rises, and the sea was rising.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And so we kind of looked at that and we're like, well, this looks like an opportunity. So a lot of these leads, no one wants them, and they're really cheap. So we went out, did a little bit of research, found some ways to monetize those and get people money in that. Did some testing on our own dime. So we had 2 sales guys we hired. We were buying the leads off our clients. They were like, cool, you're giving us money, sure, whatever. Working on this whole model, and then kind of figured it out. Got introduced to an investor, and long story short, raised a little bit of seed capital and kicked the doors open. And so that was almost a decade ago. So this year we'll eclipse $1 billion in total originations. So it's pretty cool. And so I've been pretty fortunate to work with big brands. So today we work with publicly traded companies, guys like SoFi. Who else are we working with? Experian. So we provide services to Experian, which is pretty wild, right? So we do credit pulls with them, but then we also handle their business loans inquiries. And we got Lendio and LendingTree and businessloans.com and like all these other companies and lenders on
there. But they're feeding you the type of leads you want.
Yes, it's the same sales proposition as what it was 10 years ago. We say you're looking for these premium leads. You've got these ancillary leads, these startups that you don't want. We will buy them from you. So in the early days, we did everything on rev share. We did it as a new business. We did the cash flow float.
Yep. But they agreed to it.
Yeah, 100%. We're giving them something for nothing. So sure, whatever. But then as time went by, we started understanding our metrics a little bit better. Obviously, some cash in the bank. We don't need the payment terms. So we went back to them and we said, hey, look, we'll pay you on a CPL, right? So we do rev share, But on a CPL, you'll probably make a little bit less money. We showed them a 6-month analysis of the last 6 months.
But it's guaranteed. And
Exactly.
they're seeing it. It's like a psychological thing, right?
That's it. You don't have to worry about the lead quality. You don't have to worry about whether we will close or not. You don't have to worry if the client pays us or not, or default or whatever.
Well, you know if it's coming off the back of Experian, it's a good lead.
It's a great lead.
What you want.
Yeah, right? On deck, Lendio, right? So we just basically work with our clients. And even to this day, we still have a couple on RevShare. Some guys like that, no problem. But the CPL model made more sense for us. Because we understood the metrics at the front end. We had certainty on our cost structure. Also, as some of our metrics improved, this was this weird thing. It's like we would hire additional people. We would improve our internal processes, which would in turn increase the value of the user. And we were paying out on the gross revenue, right? But they weren't understanding that we have to spend more money on staff. We have to spend more money on technology.
So CPL is actually better for you and them.
Yeah, because our margins were compressing because of all that investment, right? So gross revenue is higher, but net was compressing.
Right.
So it was good for the partner, not good for us. And we just explained this, and they're like, yeah, okay, cool, we get it, right? And so they liked the certainty. It was good for them, good for us. Many of these partnerships, Lendio, those guys for 9 years now generating leads, taking their leads and generating revenue for them.
If you could go back to when you first saw this and not do basically like an affiliate model, more or less, because that's what it is, coming off the back of Experian and might be, or these other sites, would you be where you are now had you just gone and tried to acquire directly yourselves versus leverage affiliate relationships?
Definitely not, right? So I would say the affiliate market gave us two things. Number one, obviously access to traffic, right? We did a lot of PPC ourselves, but at the end of the day, there's only so much one party can do at media buying, right? We have media buyers on the team. We've got people who've done email, contractors, agencies. We work with all sorts of different folks. And one of the things is you learn very, very quickly. Someone who's awesome at buying on Google, they don't know much about email, right? They know how to spell it. Right. So what we've done really well is just in that affiliate space is just continually looking for folks who are just best at class in their respective genre, right? So you got a guy who he crushes it on Meta, right? But don't ask him to go to Google, right? So that's a really interesting thing that we found is most affiliates are not trying to be something for everybody. I was hanging out with an affiliate the other day, one of our publishers, and he was like, man, I do Google and Bing. I was like, oh, do you do any social? He's like, nah, man, that's just too complicated for me. But he's crushing it over there. He's been doing that for 15 years.
That's the reason he's crushing it, probably.
Yeah, he's got that focus. So I think just that number one, that yes, you get the affiliates, but the understanding and how that grows into our DNA of really finding specialists. So I think what we've learned in the early days of any company, you need guys on the team who are jack of all trades, expert of none. They're just going to run, put duct tape on everything.
They get shit done.
Yeah, get shit done. Whereas the company grows, you start going away from those generalists and getting to those real specialists. I got a Facebook guy, I got an email guy, I got a Google guy, right? Or a gal, right? Email was a gal. And so we really understood that. And I think that we've always talked internally about hey, from the affiliate space, it's always about getting a specialist. If you go to every affiliate network, they offer
They do every vertical, right?
But they really have their bread and butter, right? Everybody has, this guy does biz up, that guy does legal, that guy does nutraceutical. Everyone has their bread and butter. They'll get all the offers to offer it, but really it's that 80-20, 90-10, it's just there. So I'd say that's number one. And number two, and the other part for us with the affiliate space is just that innovative nature to recognize that when something changes or a market dries up, an opportunity dries up, the affiliates don't sit around and cry about, oh man, it used to be like this. They're like, all right, cool, offer died. What's the next one? And that mindset, I think, is just so valuable and always looking for the next thing, never looking backwards, right? They'll sit around and talk about back in the day,
when it was super easy, offer vertical,
war stories, right?
Of course.
But a lot of
people don't dwell on it.
No, had a good run. Ran it for 7 months. Man, I printed some money on that. Right now, make good money now. Man, back in those days, it was good. And so I think a lot of traditional businesses, they get stuck in this concept that they don't accept change. So I try and teach our team, I'm like, hey, there's two absolutes in this world, and that's it. Number one is death, and number two is change, right? That's all we know. And I think the affiliate industry understands change better than any other industry I've seen. And, I've seen guys who are, I worked with affiliates who are 16 years old printing money, okay?
Sure.
Yeah, and that was a weird one.
Zeroed out.
Yeah, and just this, and what they're doing today is completely different to what they were doing, years ago. And so I just think that that's a mindset, and particularly when you come to a show like Affiliate Summit, you're now with other like-minded people, and you are a product of your surroundings. And so being in that, okay, I used to run this, but now I do this. I used to do this, now I do that. And just being in that change mindset, I think is so powerful. I think a lot of companies really need to come to an Affiliate Summit and spend time with affiliates to learn that, right? Let that rub off on you.
Where do you see your company going next? Is it more just do the same of the same, leverage relationships, build more of these almost like backdoor, back-end deals with like high-quality sources? What's your focus right now?
Yeah, so I break it down kind of two simple things, or three. Number one is just continually being more operationally efficient. We're really good by external metrics, but we suck based on our own expectations, right? Like I could give somebody, our biggest competitor, I could give them out every script, every workflow, everything. I go, here, run our business. And it's really hard, right? Like every business has its own nuances. From the outsider's perspective, every business looks easy. So for us, it's just how can we improve operational efficiency? So that's number one. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We've got a pretty darn good wheel. Yeah. We just got to get it. We got to smooth it out. So and we've been doing this for 10 years, right? So that's number one. Number two, continue to increase the partnerships, where media is coming from. When we first kicked the doors open, we were 100% PPC. Today, 15% PPC.
Wow.
Right? So,
holy.
Yeah, like that's just change.
Our relationships.
The relationships. Hey, how can we be of value to other people? Right? So that's number two, is just increasing the breadth of, we had during COVID times, right? No one was lending money, right? If you're a business lender, you were not lending during like those first few months of COVID. So when they all stopped lending, they stopped spending money on advertising, right? Which meant we got no leads. Okay, and sucked.
You didn't like that.
No. We had one partnership, which was very, very fortunate. It was Lending Tree. So Lending Tree, they lost all their buyers. But because we lend through banks, the banks were still lending. Not as much, but they were still lending. Right. And so we became Lending Tree's number one partner. But from a concentration perspective, not good. 100% of our leads were from Lending Tree.
So then all your eggs in one basket with them now.
Yeah, and all their eggs were in our basket. So it was very good because they weren't spending money on media. They were just emailing their database. Yeah. So it was great for them, great for us. But we very quickly identified like, hey, man, we've got a concentration risk issue.
Super risky.
Yeah. But desperate times, right? So it worked out. And then we just really made sure get all those other old partnerships, get them back on board, plus get new partnerships. So right, we added the big ones that we added. I'll share, it's no secrets. Businessloans.com came into the market. So we're a big partner with them. SoFi came into the market. We helped them. So we helped them build the vertical, right? So that has paid very, very handsomely for both parties. Experian, we brought those guys on. So just kind of going out and getting these bigger partnerships. And now that you've got the interest rate so high, mortgage and refi business is very low. So a lot of financial service companies are looking for, hey, how else can I offer something how can I get
business loans?
Yeah, business loans is still a great avenue.
So you're like ahead of it almost. Unintentionally.
Yeah, I think so. I think it goes in flows. I think Lending Tree, a business like that, is a pretty good example. They've got mortgage, personal loans, credit cards, insurance. And, as much as you want every vertical to be like at the peak at the same time, it never is. This one's up, that one's down. It's always swapping. And so we're trying to establish that kind of thing. We've moved into additional verticals. We do a lot of credit repair today. So for our funding, we need 720 and above credit scores. And so we had a lot of folks who come to us, they're subprime. And so we just have an honest conversation with them at the sales level and go, hey, man, you don't have revenue and you've got bad credit. There's nothing to underwrite you on, right? You got to get your credit sorted. All right. So we send them out to credit repair company and we get paid a bounty and they love our traffic. It's super high quality. We're qualifying the customer based on what that vendor wants. Like, hey, we like people with $45,000 in annual income. No problem. We ask that on the phone. So when we transfer that lead over, hey, that's really good match. That user matches that company's criteria. There's a good match. We already pre-sell it a little bit.
Everything's aligned and incentivized for everyone to win.
Yeah, well, you can tell them, hey, this is the price per month. So we're kind of setting that user up. So we'll do a little bit less volume, but the volume we send is really good. And so we always like that because when you send really good volume, you get to demand they're better salespeople, right? That's a big part of it for us. We always
it's like an upward spiral version.
Exactly. Conversion rates get better and better. So then we started realizing, hey, a lot of our people have low credit scores, but they don't have any negatives on their credit score. Okay, they've got debt issues. All right, so now we start working with debt settlement, and we'll do a warm transfer to debt settlement company. Again, we're trying to figure out, this is kind of the other thing, what are we focused on, is what are the services, financial services, that our client or lead needs, and how can we be of service? It's that same philosophy, circle back to the affiliate mindset. What do they need, and how can we go and get it?
How do you find a home for every click or a lead?
That's it, right? So the same as the credit repair. We go, we can't get these people funding because they have bad credit. Well, okay, let's go solve that for them, right? Oh, these people don't need credit repair, but they got low credit. What's their issue? Oh, they got too much credit card debt, personal loan debt. Okay, let's go get a debt settlement company. So it's that same philosophy as the affiliate. We're just at a different level, right? But it's the same concept, and that's what I talk about. Like, more important than any relationship or anything is the mindset that we've been able to adopt from the affiliate space.
No one teaches you this in the affiliate space as far as, sure, you make the core offer work, but how do you make sure all those extra clicks and all that traffic, how do you find a way to get $1 or something back out of it? And I think that's what I've been focused on recently.
Yeah.
And I think it's super valuable. It can completely change your business.
It does. My entire business was predicated on going to other companies and saying the leads that you don't want, the ones that literally, this is my sales pitch. We're going to walk around your office, and the leads that you throw in the trash can, I'm going to take them and give you money for it. Is that okay? That was literally my sales pitch to these guys.
It's the best offer ever.
Yeah.
Right?
And so now I've got other companies and partnerships that take the leads that we can't. We buy somebody else's trash can leads, right? And then somebody else takes our trash can leads, right? And all it is like, hey, how can I be of service? What does this person, this company need? Like the lead, right? Don't think of them as a lead. Think of them as an individual, a person, or a business. What does that party need? And how can I go and get it for them? Because someone who needs credit repair, they know their credit sucks. There's no surprises. No one's like, oh my God, I thought I had an 800. No, they all know.
Yeah.
Right? And they've been procrastinating getting credit repair. They could do a quick Google search credit repair, right? They've seen ads. And sometimes it's just scary to admit it to the
whole thing you got to do, right?
Like, to acknowledge
and it's embarrassing.
Very, right? So when we just have that honest conversation with them, it's kind of back to look a little bit of a consultant, and it's really just, hey man, this is the deal. And they're like, I know.
Because they're already calling in, or you never picked up the phone when you do outbound.
Yeah, they're looking for money, and we're telling them, hey, you can't get money from us or from anybody else realistically because of this. Let's fix this first. And they're like, the amount of thank yous that we get, the amount of like 5-star Google reviews that we get for people that we decline for funding but send to a different service. Why? Because we truly solved the real problem.
Real problem.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. That's what I like. That's what I enjoy. I actually derive so much joy out of helping those people, because I know that we're not in the credit repair business, but I know that if you have bad credit, the financial world is locked out to you. You can't get a credit card. You can't get a car, mortgage, try and rent a place. You're going to be very, very restricted. You hear people getting subprime auto loans paying 27% on a car.
I used to have bad credit, I know.
Yeah. If you have good credit, you're getting 0% or 2% from the dealer.
Throwing things at you.
Yeah. Right. So like, I think that not just the funding that we're able to get them, but the one area that I like is that we can open up their entire financial life, and we'll never know about it.
Yeah.
And they'll never look back.
Well, you know what's happening.
Yeah. They'll never look back and go, oh my God, Seed Capital saved my life. No.
Yeah. Well, you know the impact you have.
I always look at like, hey, they're the hero. We're just part of the journey. Right. And so that's how we kind of look at it. So yeah, our big things, operational efficiency, increasing partnerships, and finding more services to be able to be of service to the leads more.
We're at this affiliate conference. I don't know the percentage of publisher affiliates versus advertiser versus tech, but there's a good amount of traditional affiliates that run auto ads to someone else's auto page. That person that has a specific skill set of being able to turn traffic into dollars, hopefully. Mm-hmm. What's something you would like to say to them if I could give you a mic right now and give you the floor?
Drink water, number one. It's a hot day. No, if I can tell affiliates one thing, I would say be of service to the lead, right? You could. Some people go, oh, I don't know why that company's here. I don't know why this company's there. Well, if they weren't making money, they wouldn't come back. So they are of service to somebody. So if you're an affiliate, at the end of the day, be of service, right? That means to the advertiser and to the leads, right? You're going out, let's say you're doing auto, right? Hey, you're trying to help people save money on their auto insurance. Or are you trying to get people who don't have auto insurance and go, hey man, like that's kind of risky. You should get auto insurance. It's not as expensive as you thought, right? So if you go in with that mindset of be of service to the lead and be of service to the advertiser. Like we've all seen it. Guys will send a boatload of traffic and it doesn't back out, right? And they burn the relationship. And that advertiser like will curse their name, lose some money short term. And the advertiser moves on and you ask them a month later, do they remember that? No. But that affiliate is hurting themselves, right? That reputation is so important. I was at a dinner last night, random, some affiliate leaders, folks I've known for 10, 15 years, 17 years actually. And we still do business. We haven't done business for 5, 10 years. And we're like, hey man, we used to do a lot of business together. We got to get back to it, right? Those relationships are so critically important. Don't chase a quick dollar.
Yeah.
Right. Be of service to the lead, be of service to the advertiser, right? And just start like that. Right? Just go, how can I help you? And I talk about this concept all the time. It's like, look, instead of every conversation asking, how can you help me? Go into every conversation, go, hey, how can I help you? What do you need? Do you need an introduction, right? Do you need some advice? Hey, I can look at I'm really good at landing pages. Let me have a look at your landing page. I'll give you a couple of tips, right? And any affiliate can do that. Right, you can go to an advertiser and go, hey, I was looking at your landing page. Here's a couple of tips. Oh, wow, thanks.
Yeah.
Right, and if you do that, the universe will reward you.
Not enough affiliates do.
No, but they've got a skill set that advertisers don't. Right, everyone's got their offering to the world.
Right.
And if you take whatever you're really, really good at and share that with as many people as possible, I promise you're not going to go broke. Right, they're not going to steal all your traffic. It doesn't work like that. But if you can be of service, the world will reward you. Let's say you're sending good traffic, but I have a partner, we're sending good traffic, we agreed to a CPL. Within 3 weeks, they proactively offered us an increase in CPL. Why? Because we qualified the lead, we only sent them really good traffic.
They knew the quality was good.
On a warm transfer, they were converting 65 to 75% into a paid customer. Like, that's an insane stat, right? Now I could have sent them a ton more leads, but we chose to just send them really good leads. They dedicated their best salespeople to us, and now they're proactive.
There's your upward spiral.
Yeah. I don't even have to ask, and I'm not trying to get the best payout. I'm not trying to, get an extra nickel out of somebody. I'm trying to build a partnership that's going to be 5, 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
And I think that if you take that long-term approach, I've seen that really stands the test of time. Because look, business is going to go up, business is going to go down. You're going to have good times and bad times. This offer comes, that offer goes, right? But if you have good, long-standing relationships, you'll have a network or an advertiser come to an affiliate and go, hey man, we've done a lot of business together. We're thinking about trying this new offer. We don't know how it'll work. We're probably going to pay, let's say, $20 CPL when we go to market, but can you test it for us? I'm going to pay you $50 in the short term. Well, I'll give you like a 20 grand budget at $50 for you to test and tell us what's working, what's not.
You'll know the real CPL at the quality that they want, and right.
Yeah. So those opportunities open up to you.
But that all comes back to relationships.
100%. You've got to build those relationships. Yep. And don't try and be transactional. If you put goodness into the world, you do that with 30 people, 50 people. Not like you're going to get 50, of those deals. You may be at 1. You don't know where it's coming from, though.
Yeah.
So you just got to keep going.
Another question.
Yeah.
I talked to a lot of guys that are focusing or starting to focus on the U.S. market. Maybe they did broad offers in Europe or other markets, or they did on e-com, which could be worldwide. And they're doing well, but they want to focus on the U.S. market. How has you moving your wife from Australia, which is a great country, a lot of great opportunities there, how has moving your wife here to focus on this market changed your life? Had an impact on your business?
Well, I live in a house now with my American wife, 2 kids, a hamster, 2 guinea pigs, a dog, and about 15 goldfish. So that's probably the biggest change. I live at a zoo. Okay. So I met my wife when I moved over. So, hey, that land of opportunity.
Yeah.
So that's probably the best out of everything. Look, coming to the US is very different to every other country. I think it's a lot easier to start a business here. Everything moves much quicker. People are much more willing to share. And, people talk about the affiliate world. Oh, people are cagey, they don't share. I'm sure there's a little bit of that, no doubt. Yeah. But there's still a ton more sharing. Just walk around the floor here at Affiliate Summit. There's a lot of information sharing and technologies and et cetera. So I found that this market here is just way more expansive in both offering and mindset. Australia today is, I think, 24, 25 million people. The US is 330, 350.
Maybe 400.
Yeah, 400. No one really knows.
Yeah.
Right? There's no clicker at the door. That would be great. Have a bouncer with a clicker. They can count. Right? They're good at pressing that little button.
Of course. Yeah.
So we don't know, but look, it's 15 times bigger than Australia. That said, I've seen affiliate. It's not one size fits all. I've seen tons of people make great money in Australia. I know the guys who started Zip Money, the guys who started Afterpay. These guys all were publicly traded companies.
Yeah.
There's another company called The Iconic, which best man at my wedding was the founder in Australia. Largest e-commerce fashion store in Australia, right? So you can make money in every single place. When we were running mobile offers, we had guys who were crushing it in Brazil, guys who were crushing it in the New Zealand market, Canadian market, Australian, UK, right? There's money everywhere, right? But the US just offers that expansive mindset, and it's 300 million people in one regulatory market. Because look, if you're doing media buying, you set up your Google account. It's the same work to set it up for Australia for 25 million people as the US for 400 million, whatever, right? 350, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
It really is the same work. But on the downside, when you come to the US, hey, there's more competition, right? So you got more people chasing that. Now, there's always room for everybody, but there's pros and cons. I don't think there's one size fits all, right? I've seen guys be successful at both, and I've seen guys fail at both, right? It's not like, oh, you just open a store in the US and all of a sudden the money rolls in. You still have to work hard, but there are just definitely some tangible things that make life easier.
Bigger opportunity vehicle sometimes.
I think
same
so.
work. Yeah.
For the same work. You're setting up that Google account, that Meta account, TikTok account, whatever. You're appealing to 350 odd million people. It just makes it a bit easier.
You've had a lot of success, Ben. Any other piece of advice or ideas or quotes that you want to share that you live by?
I love quotes. Firstly, I think quotes are great. But I would just say, as you go through life, like don't expect everything to work. And don't get frustrated when it doesn't work. To me, you're either winning or you're growing, right? It's not a new thing, right? But you really are. You're either winning or you're growing. And every time something fails, just ask, okay, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? Let me go double down on the stuff I did right? And let me go and learn from the stuff I did wrong. I find that for the most part, life and business especially, right? We run a big sales team, and sales and sports is always analogies and, trying to get the guys ramped up. Why? Because there's a scoreboard, there's intangibles, right? You could be a bad athlete, but if you just work real hard, you'll succeed. The same as you can be a phenomenal athlete, and if you don't have the work ethic, you won't meet your potential and you won't be successful.
Yeah.
Sales is the same, business is the same. It's all the same, right? So look at it and go, okay, hey, can I outwork everyone? Look, when we're young, kind of dumb, right? What we offer to the world when we're young is optimism, enthusiasm, energy, and low commitment, right? It's very different.
Sounds like an affiliate.
Yeah, right? That's an affiliate. Why? Because they can outwork everybody. They'll grind till 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. They'll do all-nighters. That's what they offer to the world, that they've got that dialed-in focus. Like, I'm really not that sophisticated. I don't have partnerships. I can grind. Right now, as they get older, more mature, now their skill set starts catching up with them. Now they have relationships. Now money's coming in. They've got things in autopilot. They can hire people. They don't need to do that forever. Look, you take all the top guys here who have been in the industry for 10, 15, 20 plus years. They'll all tell you when they were young, all followed the same story. They all grinded. Now, for me, my biggest partner was with my client. I was living in New York, and he was living in Perth. Because of the time zones, he was the first person I'd speak to in the morning and the last person I would speak to at nighttime. And our wives, who are now our wives, they were girlfriends back then, they would laugh that like we were having an affair on our girlfriends with one another, right?
Just twice a day.
Yeah, just twice a day, right? But now we don't have to do that, right? So you evolve. So just keep working hard, right? There's no clock, right? If you're working 9 to 5 as an affiliate or in this market, you're going to lose. Just that simple, right? Don't ever look at the clock. I love this one, is don't count the minutes, make the minutes count, right? And number 2 is just keep being of service, right? Keep being of service. Okay, who can I help? Who can I help? And when you make a sale, you are helping that party, right? Unless you're trying to steal from them. But if you're generating a lead, like let's say auto insurance, don't try and get a lead. Ask yourself, hey, who needs insurance that doesn't have insurance today? And how can I get an offer or an ad that appeals to that party? Who has insurance today that probably hasn't looked at the pricing, and I can create an ad and a landing page that's compelling for them to want to hear a new offer, get a better deal, right? So if you go in that mindset of help versus let me get leads, right? You'll have much more success. You'll be long lasting, and new opportunities will always open up to you with that mindset. Right? That's how I view it.
Bro, thank you so much for joining me, man.
John, appreciate it. It's been my absolute pleasure.
How can more people find you?
Go check out seekcapital.com, seekcapital.com, seekcapital.com. If you want to hit me up directly, find me on LinkedIn. I'm old, so I use Facebook, but there's no message there. So LinkedIn is probably the best. And just say, hey, I saw you on this interview through John. And yeah, happy to help, happy to connect with whoever needs some assistance.
Cool. We'll link back to below the show notes, man. Thank you again for joining me.
Appreciate it, man. It's been my absolute pleasure. Thanks.